Hello everybody, welcome into another special edition of Backseat Drivers. We've continued for the last little bit on the show to break down who we thought were the best drivers by each number. These iconic numbers tend to resonate with fans, and fans kind of just really find a bond with each number and a driver that drives those numbers. Let's talk about, however, a Mount Rushmore of numbers. I want you guys to pick 4 drivers or 4 numbers who you think should be on the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR.
Yeah, well, first off, that's hard to do in any sport, really. But NASCAR, is so much different than any other sport.
There's so many numbers.
Instead of in the NFL or professional baseball or whatever, like there's tons of number ones, guys that wear the number 1. But in NASCAR, all of our teams race, so there's only a certain amount of numbers. So people stick with those for a long time. So it's a little bit easier for us to maybe identify. But I mean, for me, I would go 43, 21, 3, 24. I would go with those 4 numbers on my Mount Rushmore with a case for the 48 because he's not done yet.
Don't make your cases yet. Just pick your Mount Rushmore.
That's true. Which it's hard. I think you have to really start any conversation about this with 43. But I think you also have to make room for the 11, which has won the most of any number that's ever been run in NASCAR. I think you have to put the 3 on there, and then after that, boy, I don't know. The choices get really, really tough. I mean, you can make a case for 24. You can make a case for 21, for 48. There's so many different ones. So I'm not sure if I'm quite settled on mine, and I'm hedging, I realize, but still open to discussion on that.
I don't know. And this is no disrespect to anybody that ran these numbers or anything, but I would be adamant about not putting the 11 on that list because, to be honest with you, when you told me that number had won more than any other number in NASCAR, I didn't know that. And, and I don't know if a lot of our fans maybe know that or realize that because, are you going to kick Richard Petty off the list and the 43 off the list for the 11? No. The Wood brothers have been around. They've been a staple for the longest time. They've, in that number has just been there. So I'm not going to kick that off the list. And I don't know who in their right mind is going to take Dale Earnhardt in the 3 off the list. And then Jeff Gordon just kind of defined an era all its own. And I feel like if you look at the 11, it's kind of pieced together. And, a lot of these were kind of built on, one guy doing a bulk of the work, so to speak. Does that make sense?
It does. I think those numbers kind of, have a little bit more weight to them when they are more closely tied to, just like one person who is a clear-cut association or connection with that number. So Earnhardt in the 3, there are other people that drove that number that, have pretty heavy credentials too, but, who's the person you think about, and that's Dale Earnhardt. So between the 3 and 43, I think those are the slam dunks, that I have, but I still think you make a case for the 11 if you can.